Ladies and gents, welcome. We've got a best of 5 here. This is game number 1 in some Warlords action. 9 villager start. In this case, it was a 10 villager start for the Mayans for MbL. Gameplay will be a little bit faster, but the rest of the game stays the same. MbL is in the yellow, which I understand is probably a little bit hard to see for you guys, but I'll follow it, don't you worry. I just love yellow and blue. I think it's a nice change. MbL's playing as the Mayans, and then we've got Hera in the blue playing as the Saracens here on Arabia. Now, I did mention how earlier in the day, how with the 9 villager start, I think you can go for faster feudal times. And that's something that, that's very much Hera's playstyle as well, is to go fast feudal, early feudal pressure. So I like what Hera did here. He actually delayed his lumber camp a little bit, brought in his elephant or rhino a little bit early. We'll see what he wants to do with Saracens of all civs. Kind of an interesting pick for Arabia, right? Like, Saracens are not a bad civilization. I'm not implying that. But not the civilization that you would expect from, like, a scout-type player. Anyways, with the 9 villager start, the trend has been way less Dark Age pressure. That's been the trend anyways, but MbL is going to go for the barracks, and MbL is going to try and go for some militia, it looks like. And it can be more difficult to pull off the Dark Age plays because of you have less time to scout your own resources and do everything at home by like a minute or two, and so you can sometimes fail to scout your opponent. And Hera's going to go 19 population here, and yeah, he's just going to push in all his deer. Just like super greed, 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 get lots of food. Start with the extra vills, gives you the food income a little faster as well. And good move from Hera there. Hera's stone is absolutely crap. Well, I mean, to be fair, you've got, like, his stone isn't the best either, right? Like, the thing that's good for Hera is that he's got really good, like, back stone, back gold. And the wall potential there could give him a lot of safe space in the back. At the moment, looks to me like Hera's going to try and go for a scout build. Surprise, surprise. And here comes MbL with militia. Hera has not scouted MbL at all. And really important for MbL that he finds some value here, I feel. Now, what he's going to want to do, and he's not doing it right now, but he wants to use this eagle, because the eagle and 2 militia can be devastating, even to loomed villagers. Earlier today, though, we saw a player in Doubt try and do this, and he was so late to feudalate that he ended up having some big problems after he didn't kill any villagers. So we'll see if MbL can actually get the timings right. So I love MbL to death. I know the guy very well. I've known him since 2014, 2015. And the thing about him at the moment, he's a star player. He's so good at the game, but he's working a full-time job and he's doing all these other things, right? It's hard for him to stay in that shape. And, oh, here comes Hera, and Hera spends a lot more time on the game, and he doesn't get the walls down here, and this could easily lead to him losing a villager. MbL's happy to stick around and block. He's going to try and focus on that villager, and Hera's just not expecting it. This isn't the meta. This isn't what we've been seeing a lot of. That's a dead villager for Hera. That also delays his wood income a little bit, which delays his stable, and there's the threat that he could lose more. MbL shows up, gets the vill kill. And Hera did scout MbL, but MbL's already on the way to the next stage right now. Now, MbL didn't go to gold at all. So, you might just open up here with, like, Spearman. Always a little bit awkward if you want to go for the kill and you're not on gold as the Mayans. But I'd say dream start for MbL. Not the start that Hera would want to this game. And the scouts are going to be coming out for Hera, as he actually is going to steal 2 sheep from MbL. And there goes MbL to gold. For a pure skill tourney, like that guy wanted, how about a Huns only Arabia tourney? Skill is a very hard thing to describe, right? Like, I don't even think, like, Hun Wars is a lot of aggression, but is aggression skill? What do you determine as skill? Is strategy skill, or is strategy strategy? It's a big old, like, it's a whole conversation I don't want to get into right now because I'm casting this. But, you know, what we were talking about for people on YouTube later on is basically, like, someone asked if variety is bad for Age of Empires, basically, because variety doesn't help some people. And I could not disagree more. And variety is good for Age of Empires. It's good we have all these different things. MbL with the quick walls, and that's been the difference so far. It's just the quick walls, right? MbL's got more work to do, obviously. I don't like the lack of follow-up right now from him. I think that's the concern. But man, his quick walls have looked very good. I guess he is going to have some archers right now. And Hera still has to deal with this on occasion, right? And it must be so annoying for him to have to look over at this all the time. Don't tell me he's going to lose another villager to this. He could. MbL needs to block with the eagle and then send the spearman in. Boink. 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 MbL's insane with eagles, man. MbL's just insane. Now, Hera's early market is something you normally see with the Saracens, but normally you want to be on gold or you want to be on stone, so you can sell stone, buy food, or I guess you could, like, you know, use the gold and buy food to get a better castle age. Hera did kill 2 spearmen there, only lost 1 scout, so that's a pretty good trade for him. But MbL's got to be feeling like after killing 2 villagers, he's in a better position. Especially because Hera's going only scouts, but then again, as we've just seen, enough scouts can take out the spearmen, and MbL is just going to add more right now. Those goats are going to head back home. They're probably out of breath at this point. MbL's got to be careful with his spearman numbers, seeing Hera has this many scouts. Hera will gladly take the fight on the hill. MbL realizes this. This is where MbL has to group up everything he's got and fight in the same position. And Hera's not going to want that. But what you do if you're MbL, and it's not easy... Oh god, this is going to be so stressful. But what you do is you have to just go to his base. You go directly over to his base, and then you force him to come back and fight you. But look what Hera can do with that mobility, and look what scouts are capable of. But look at the spearmen and the archers. More spearmen from MbL. He loves making spearmen. He's always been known for making lots of spearmen. He's tossing them away like it's nothing, but is it worth it for him? Here he comes. Hera's getting bloodlines now. Hera doesn't have a single archer range. I think MbL's going to be able to defend from this, right? He's got good economy. Better economy than Hera does. And fletching on the archers, too. Hera's going to have to come back home to clear this. MbL overchopped. Well, he's going to deal with this. This is actually not a hole, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so MbL's going to know what's up. I think he'll see the second stable. We might even see a second barracks from MbL. He's going to kill another Vill. Oh! Doesn't actually kill the Vill. Now he kills the Vill. But you want to take as many good trades against the army as possible here. Because you do know you could have some problems and you could lose this force. Second barracks for MbL. Is that going to happen? Let's see. Takes the fight against Hera. Hera has bloodlines. Good micro from MbL. He's getting the best out of the situation by sitting up on the hill. Hera obviously clears this. Hera's going to be looking for more damage. He's got some weak scouts in there. And MbL, is he going to just try this again, maybe? More spearmen, more archers. As long as he doesn't overchop, and as long as he has some more walls down, like wall here and wall here would be amazing. He should be okay, but yeah, this is crazy. MbL's just going forward again. He's got everything except for 1 spearman coming forward. And 1 archer, I guess. It's 3-0 eco KD. And Hera still has no protection from this army. Hera's hoping that MbL's just staying at home. Now, it might look bad for MbL initially, because he could take some losses to all this. But he has time to react, and then he will also... Hera will have nothing to stop this. MbL, for the most part, is walled. He might actually overchop there. But obviously, MbL's watching this, and Hera loses another villager. Also, the blacksmith's being denied by 2 spearmen. Oh, overchop for MbL? Hera needs to do something about that. MbL with house walls there. Now Hera's running away. Hera has to try and quick wall that villager, maybe. Hera also loses all of his scouts. Disaster for Hera. What does Castle Age even bring you? Can you get Castle Age? Look at that. Sold resources, had to buy the stone back. MbL dropping a second barracks now. It's been a much better game for the Norwegian. 5 villagers killed. And he's just gonna loop around. He's like, oh, this is great, actually. I'm just gonna run over here. You're making a tower. You still have no army. You're being greedy. You're being greedy. And I'm punishing it constantly. Sick. Did this villager die? That villager also died. 6 villagers killed now. If I'm MbL, I just don't even move my army. I just sit it right here. Actually, right here would be perfect. You just don't want to get hit by the tower. Hera can't make any more army, really, until he's on knights. Which should be horrible for him, and we now have a pause. If you've followed Hera's career enough, feels like a Hera pause. He pauses a lot. MbL needs to click up to Castle Age here, but wow, what a start, man. What a great start. Hey, by the way, where's the person that said 3-0 for Hera here, by the way? Is that person still here? I had said 3-1 for Hera as my prediction, but I did also state that
yes,
the players between, like the thing with Hera is he plays the straightforward open maps really well. And anytime it's not a straightforward open map, he tends to struggle. More anyways, right? MbL's also very good on Arabia. But like some of these other maps that are in their draft is just insane for MbL. Sleepy the Giant. Okay, good. At least you mentioned it, right? At least you're okay with saying that was me. The only peaceful beings on this planet, by the way, are these 2 goats. They're good friends. Hera loses another scout. Hera's trying to run back over to this wood line. Oh, this is going to be yikes for Hera, man. It is yikes for Hera already. MbL is just moving around, sees this villager, says, I'd like to kill that villager. Thank you very much. Kills the villager. Sees this villager, says, I'd like to kill that villager. Thank you very much. Screw your tower, by the way. I don't care about your tower. Gets another villager kill. Oh my god. He's actually not switching out of archers, so it's a little risky, possibly, to do what he just did there. He's got so much army at the moment. And Hera, obviously, is very much all in, right? He's lost 8 villagers this game. But even here, like, I think he added the scouts to kill the 2 archers, and now there's still 2 spearmen there, so he's going to have to wait for knights. MbL's played this really good. Never know what MbL you're going to get. Sometimes he's a beast, other times he just gets rolled over and lacks confidence and whatnot. Hera, obviously, the expectations are always there. Expectations are always really high. And I think the struggle for him over the last 12 to 16 months has been have the results always match those expectations, you know? And more often than not, I'd say they haven't, based on what I've heard from many of you guys out there and what you expect and what you think is possible for a player like him. But obviously, expectations are high, right? And that can weigh down on you at times, and also, it's just like the 1v1 ladder experience. Just like it hasn't translated into crazy tournament results for MbL. Sometimes it doesn't always result into that much for Hera, too, as I think he's, like, obviously has the greater track record, but he's going to start off this series feeling some pain. MbL gets the easy clear here. Hera has to tap out and call the GG. This was an amazing game from MbL. And Hera, I mean, he got surprised by the militia. He got surprised by the follow-up army. And then there were additional follow-ups, and MbL wasn't fully walled at all, but he was able to avoid losing villagers. How many times do you see that? Hera with that many scouts, and MbL didn't lose a single villager. Certainly, I think Hera needs to get warmed up into the series. MbL's looking like he's already warmed up. That's a great start for him. Especially with having Black Forest as a home map in your back pocket. MbL's a BF master. That could be awesome. Also, I kind of had the question now, Saracens on Arabia. It just, I don't know, maybe there's something about the 9-villager start that excited Hera about having Saracens, or maybe he couldn't get the civilizations he wanted on his draft, but you think Hera, you think like Franks, Mongols, like some early, like some civilization that actually has a bonus for the scouts in the first place, right? Anyways, GG. Good start to the series. All right, I'm pumped for this. I hope everyone else is. I should say, don't get your hopes up like I have, because there's a lot of reasons why MbL's pick maybe shouldn't work at a high level. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about why maybe it could work as well, as we have game 2. MbL just wiped the floor with Hera in game number 1. 10 villager kills versus 0. Not a great start to the series for Hera, but who cares about that? We've got migration. Now, it's 9 villager starts, so it's a bit faster here in this Warlords tourney. Hera's gone for the Vikings, obviously, to go like full galleys and go for water. MbL has been watching one too many YouTube videos from me, and he's gone for the Spanish. So let's talk relevant Spanish bonuses. Well, they build faster. They also don't have to spend gold on their blacksmith upgrades. They do have a very good navy. I think they get fast fire. I think they get galleon. I know they have epic cannon galleons for later. But you just don't see high-level players pick Spanish for water maps too frequently. Because they don't have like the cheaper fishing ships and cheaper dock techs like the Italians. They don't have the cheap docks and the galley spam like the Vikings. They don't have the cheaper ships and the extra armor like the Portuguese or the faster fires like the Byzantines. So I don't know if MbL, like, you have to compete for water on migration. That's an absolute must. But I don't know if, like, maybe he wants to go for a castle drop in the middle, or if he is going to play this meta. But what's exciting for me is, like, Hera's got to be thinking, what? Spanish? Because MbL had Byzantines on his draft, and I think more often than not, people are picking Byzantines on water maps. And I do think Byzantines would have actually been a better pick. Now, they're very far apart, which benefits Hera, because Hera's Civ doesn't get fire galleys. And he was going to open straight galleys, and that's always... It's always tough in the early stages with galleys if fire is getting close. But yeah, that's essentially it. You do not start with boars on this island. You've got to get as much food as possible by pushing in all of your deer, and then obviously fishing is always huge as well. All right. Well, Legend of I Sit. That's what I want to see. I want to see MbL go full cannon galleons. You never see elite cannon galleon with Spanish in a high-level game. You see it with every other civ. Is that good enough to pick the Spanish? I don't know. You think MbL is going to castle drop the home island? No, I don't think that's possible, but it would be a very MbL thing to transport the vills over and then drop a castle like on a hill or something in here and just try and deny all the middle from Hera. But if you take that approach, that means you're not investing as much onto the water, which is always going to be a potential downside for you. So, wow, MbL's clicked up pretty early. Hera's behind him. If MbL were to go to stone now, that would probably be an issue if he were to be competing on water. The norm is to see a second dock go up pretty soon, and then a couple of villagers go to gold. That's the norm. Also, Victor, thanks for the stars, man. Thank you. Obviously, no transport right now, so the scouts are kind of stuck here. MbL's going to drop a second dock. That second dock's actually horrible. Because, I mean, he needs to build it fast so he can get this production, but it's not good for future fish. Normally you want to check, but he's probably assuming he has a fish there. I say horrible. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I mean, Hera's initial dock was way better, and then this dock even has fish close by, so that could add up. 3 to gold for Hera. 3 to gold for MbL. That much is similar. And, wow, they're not, like... I'm surprised how few fishing ships they've made. They're really going up quick here. And MbL's going to go galleys. Hera's probably going to do the same. Well, Hera, like, pretty much has to do the same. So I assume he could always go demos. Oh, man. Hera seems off today because he's 1 villager behind. No, that's fine. Not a big deal. Like, also, going up faster on a map where you're so far apart could actually be worse, right? Because you have 1 villager less working as you go up to the next stage. I mean, you're splitting hairs, but, like, Hera has more resources collected, in theory, because of the slightly better fish position, but also because he had 1 more eco unit working there. Okay. MbL's going to want another dock eventually. He goes 2 galleys, and now he's going 2 fires. Interesting approach. And Hera's going to go the same direction as MbL, so he's going to go to the left. So this should be really good for Hera. I don't like going into the fire so early, And wow, MbL's also queuing a transport ship, so this is a completely different approach from him. He's going to go to the middle super early. Hey, the galleys were probably just to snipe fishing ships. Hera, patrol. Patrol. Okay. Didn't patrol. That's actually good for MbL. The fires are going the other way now, which is an intentional decision from MbL. And he doesn't even have another fire on the way. Dude, this is so off meta, man. This is not what people usually do. Hera's playing it as you would expect. MbL might lose his fish. He's not producing anything. You gotta produce some ships, dude. Migration, not really a map that I've seen MbL play a lot of. There he goes with his villagers. Now he's queued up fires. Now, if he could kill some of Hera's fishing ships with his fires, obviously that'd be good. But, like, being pushed off of your fish this early is a really bad sign. He does have a sneaky dock over here, though. But Hera will know there's fishing ships out there. Hera will go in for them. This is why I said don't get your hopes up, because it'd have to get so late for the Legend of I Sit strategies to work. There's the scout getting attacked. There's a moonwalking fire ship. Exciting stuff. Hera's going to need to use his new galleys to defend his fish. Obviously, Hera's looking for MbL's fish. This is actually a nice spot to be able to hide in. And Hera must be confused, but he's doing the right thing. He's coming back this way, and he's checking this way, and he finds them. Perfect play from Hera. This shouldn't actually be an issue for Hera, because he's going to have more galleys on the way. As he pulls back from. Now he's killed the fish, and that's all you want, really. Just to kill the fish. In the middle, though, MbL is on stone. And he also has a scout out there. These fires have been pushed away as we expected. I'm surprised Hera's still adding more galleys. Normally players are going to add fishing ships, because he should know that he's won water now. But maybe he feels like MbL just doesn't have his build order working well. Look how many galleys he's queuing. MbL's not even making any more ships. Because what you want now is you want the food to go Castle Age. So you just want to fish away a little bit. Even just 4 or 5 extra fishing ships could be awesome. Also, MbL's transport is right here. What? And MbL's definitely going to be able to make it to Castle Age faster than Hera. And he might even be able to get the castle down. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, he's going to drop a dock here. Now that is smart, because he doesn't need to deal with this navy if he can just sneak fire ships into Hera's fishing eco later. Oh, this is a masterclass from MbL. Hera's just got, like if you know Hera, right? It's like, out-execute, out-produce, out-micro, but not always out-strategize, right? Like, that's so much navy. Still pretty far away from clicking up. He hasn't made a transport ship at all. Oh my god. This is sick, dude. This is sick. MbL just needs to hide these. And then he can swoop in and take all the docks. MbL also still has villagers here. Now, he might not be able to get the castle for a while, because he's actually selling stone so he can make more ships. And MbL has to be careful. All of his wood is actually very far forward here. I didn't realize that. Hera has clicked up now. Okay. Hera still has no clue that that is there. MbL is sending that villager back over. MbL scouting the middle, obviously. Hera still not even a single transport. Hera still is the lead, by the way. Like, I'm saying all these things that are potential for MbL. Hera's still got a massive potential here, because MbL's wood lines are forward, and because, I mean, he's still producing on water all the time. But this is going to be such a headache for him to deal with. He's going to add even another dock there. The transport ship being here is wild, but you can only transport 5 villagers at a time. And he only has 4 here, so like castle dropping the Hera's starting island would definitely not be easy. Hera's going to see this and say, well, MbL's dead. Like, why? What is he doing? Why is he trolling? And MbL's now passing fire galleys here. The war galley upgrade's on the way in this dock, and that will complete. And it's going to make Hera's life pretty awkward, but Hera does get the transport over in time. And now it's just a matter of if MbL will kill the fishing ships or not. And he definitely will. That's huge. MbL? MbL? Yep, he sees him. Hera's fish are on the move. Not something Hera expected to face up against here. What will Hera do with these villagers? MbL hasn't spotted their presence. Hera's going to get War Galley. Hera's going to get Bodkin. MbL really needs to save these vills. And Hera's now dropped the TC. Hera's going to add longboats. Hera has actually been able to sail away with some of his fishing ships. Still, the big problem for MbL is just the lack of wood on his island. If he had one back wood line, things would have been so much better for him. But he's going to drop a TC in the middle. So he's not going to castle drop. And Hera spots that TC. Fire, obviously, is going to help a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. MbL doesn't have the docks, guys. So, creative play from MbL, but Hera's idea of ship spamming should still win him this game. He's got a town center in the middle as well. He's still got endless amounts of navy. And MbL's desperate at the moment. Also, the transport ship is kind of bait here at the moment. MbL is going to go for another TC. Oh, and he is going to bring these fires back to take that out. That actually is big for him, because then he could maybe sneak up another dock. Hera is attacking the villagers in the middle at the moment. MbL hasn't realized that. Great job from Hera, because he knows MbL is distracted. Could lead to another villager going down there as well, to be honest. Hera decides maybe a good time to get loom. And yeah, MbL can't take wood, dude. His island's awful for this type of position. He's just, he cannot make the ships. He has no wood. I actually feel really bad for him. I think this strategy works a lot better if he has a safe wood line. He can't take any of his wood this early in the game. He is going to drop a town center there, though. He will have 3 TCs in the middle. Though he's not going to play on. We call him the cockroach of AoE for a reason. This eco is just going to be stone and gold eco. And then the rest of the eco is going to have to be wood, I guess. Getting fletching now. Does MbL know about the TCs from Hera? He doesn't. So honestly, I think the way MbL comes back in this game is if he scouts where Hera is, kills the monk, and drops a castle on these TCs. Hera's water control won't mean that much if there's a castle here. And it'll give MbL a lot of potential to come back. The score is also extremely high for for Hera because of the KD, but also because of the water control. Water really boosts your score. Let's see MbL's awareness. Hera sees the scout now. Good job from Hera. And I also love this castle from Hera as well. Would actually prefer it to be a little bit more over here, but he needs gold, I guess, on the island, so that was really smart from him too. There's a chance that MbL castles his starting island, so he could just get wood again. But I think that's not the play. Yeah, eco is pretty close. Still fire ships here for MbL that I assume he's forgot about. Interesting game. MbL still hasn't spotted Hera's positioning yet. He's about to have the stone for a castle, so now certainly he's going to think, uh-oh, that could be a conversion, actually. Oh. Now he's going to think he has to do something, but he's going to just drop the castle here. All right. Obviously makes sense. Then you can make conquistadors, which would be very strong for you. There's a siege workshop as well from him. I think MbL should actually delete this town center soon and just make a mill for the farms and leave it at that. I think new villagers on this island is actually a mistake. He lose his scout, by the way? No, he didn't. He killed Hera's scout with the town center. Hera didn't expect that. And so now we're going to see MbL for MbL as he's housed temporarily. And Well, at least he's using this town center to research things, which is nice. Hera's dropping a barracks. Hera's maybe thinking about Imperial Age. The scout from MbL is going to kill Hera's monk. That's very greedy from Hera. He knows the scout's out there, but he might not care too much. He has 3 relics already. Hera has really good farming eco. Remember, he is wheelbearer for free and also has had handcart, so his eco's really good compared to what we're seeing from MbL. But we will have some monks, we will have some conquistadors, we will have the scout, and this would be the holy grail of castles. Like, can you imagine if a castle actually goes up there? How sick that would be. I think Hera needs to drop his own right here, so this doesn't happen. Yeah, he's about to. He's really worried about this push. Yep. I would have preferred a little further forward, but obviously then MbL could run forward and deny it, and he's been on the receiving end of things like that quite a few times, so... MbL will see the monks. He actually will kill the monks. He loses 1 conquistador. That's actually really good from Hera, because Hera... Oh, he could take it all out, actually. Hera's trying to take out the manga. No! Oh, this is so good from Hera! What a play! Oh, and the castle ends up doing the job. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god, no way. Okay, Hera, you need to just hope for the best there. Yeah, he deletes it. Smart play from Hera to delete it there. Good all-around play from him. Look at his food count, despite the fact that he's got so many idols there. Well, now what does MbL do? Where does he place his castle now? Does he come back on water now? Like, what's his decision? Hera's on the way to the Imperial Age. Oh, MbL doesn't know about that castle! Well, if Hera's castle wasn't there, this would be an epic play from MbL, but Hera already has 2. Hera also has ballistics, and MbL just calls the GG. Oh, man, what a great game, though. That was still a really creative game from MbL. I really wonder how this game goes, though, if all of his woodlines aren't forward, because that was such a struggle for him to maintain control on water. I also feel like maybe what he could have done is he could have produced a little bit more on water before transporting. But it was a smart play. Another thing that hurt him is he couldn't get more villagers on the stone. Like, if he had a castle up earlier, maybe he could deny Hera expanding, but... Hera had better economy this game. He was on the way to the Imperial Age. MbL knew that he needed to castle drop, because he would never be an imp. Good value from Hera there, obviously, with that 1 converted conch. But I think even without that, right, MbL's like sunk pretty deep into Castle Age here. And will probably lose large portions of his eco with a little bit of a treb push from Hera. All right, so MbL's gone Britons here on Yucatan. And what a beautiful map. I said this a lot. I say this every time I cast Yucatan, so probably sounding like a broken record. But I used to play this map all the time. I used to pick the Britons for the sheep bonus, and I used to pick the Mongols for the hunt bonus with all the boars and the deer. But actually, funny story, and it just came back to me, I only started to pick the Britons after I realized that the hunt bonus didn't apply to the Mongols. Because for like the first 3 months I played this game, I actually thought that like eating a turkey was classified as hunt. And it's not. So, yeah, let that sink in. Anyways, MbL's the Britons, so he has that sheep bonus on the turkeys. And they're everywhere. And then Hera's Hindustanis, which I think in some ways was a bit of a counter pick to the Britons because he wants to maybe get to the Ghulams. Yeah, there's so many resources on this map. So you get 3 boars, double berry bushes, double deer, probably like 5 times the amount of turkeys that you would normally get on a normal map. And there's even extra boars on this generation. That doesn't seem very fair. I guess that just comes with the territory. But Hera having 2 boars in the back of his base when he could easily boom back here is wild. That said, if it gets to that stage and he's booming and taking boars, it's probably, you know, a lot of other good things have probably already been happening to him. Because we don't know if that's going to be the type of game we get here. Now MbL looking to scout the opponent right now because he's dropping the barracks. Remember, it's a 9 villager start in these settings. So everything's happening a little faster. And MbL's, you could tell he's like, this is flat area. I'm concerned. And that's just game sense from him not to run directly into the TC. And Hera's already starting to wall, so MbL's approach of adding the militia is really smart here, I feel. You do not want Hera to be able to play defensive here for MbL. And rip to the scout HP. That's horrible for him. I jinxed him. Not what you would want to happen there. I'm sure he was going to move it, but he just, for 1 second, he went back home to place a wall. And actually, that tells me that MbL's going to try and go fast castle here, guys. Like, this is going to be the classic Drush fast castle. And I mean, why not with all this food? Not going to be able to attack this villager now. Hera would normally be a little bit more concerned about that. But he doesn't want Hera to have an idea that he's sending the militia across the map. And what's Hera doing? Gonna wall there. That will be full walled. A lot of map to wall here, Hera. MbL's walling. Like, MbL knows that there's a mill going up there. And Hera's now sending a villager out. This villager's the MVP, though. That's actually good for Hera because now he can pre-wall some of this stuff. MbL? Okay. MbL's just like, okay, I'll kill the deer. He forgot about this militia. He's just trying to get his walls down. Okay. It's going to be a fast castle game for MbL, and honestly, I have no clue what Hera's plan is. Going to gold. Is this going to be like a super fast castle from Hera? Because his villagers are cheap? Or is he going to open archers or something? Killing the deer is nice. It honestly feels like Hera wants to go blacksmith market fast castle off of this population. Whereas MbL is like really taking his time. MbL needs to cancel vills and go up. Oh my god. Like on Arabia, when you don't have all the extra food, the build order was always 27 vills. But I don't know if you need to do that here. I think you could go up faster than this. But then again, it's MbL. I should trust the guy. MbL might see this villager. Hera's resources are looking awfully tasty. But it's never going to be anything that Hera can really be aggressive with. Blacksmith. Walling. MbL's scout could die, so he has to be careful. Come back to the militia. Hera's like, it's worth it to lose some HP. Loses some HP. Alright. Maybe MbL wants a massive boom. Well, I also could be misjudging it. So I'm curious to see what his uptime it looks like. I'm also curious to see if he remembers this boar. If I were MbL, what I would want to do is I just want to sit on a house and attack it. Like, force Hera to attack you with something. There's now a stable for Hera. I mean, I think MbL losing his scout, excuse me, isn't the best thing ever. But I think the Drush has still been worth it because it's taken out so much food from Hera. And it's forced Hera to, like, play in a way that he wouldn't want to play if the Drush wasn't here. Like, all of this, he would want to be out here. He's made Hera work for it, but at the same time, like, Hera didn't lose any villagers. It's still amazing for him. And he's just gonna probably be happy with taking fights and saving the weak villagers here. It's so close to the TC. MbL shouldn't kill a villager. That is being annoying. Hera's gonna garrison. MbL takes one arrow to the face and moves along. Like, MbL, look, he didn't take the boar. And he still has tons of food. But MbL's eco will actually be better to do different things with when he makes it to the castle age. That's one aspect of this. The Hera might not be floating as many resources, right? And I think MbL definitely wants to drop the second town center. He was probably going to do that regardless. Because it's cheap with Britons, but doesn't look like he's going to make any archers at all. I think something that MbL will eventually be concerned on is if Hera's going to be on stone. Hera's going to go bring his weak scout home, and he's going to add another scout, and he'll probably just scout the rest of the map with everything after making them. Not sure I like the scout edition, though, right? Like, he's not floating that many resources now. He's making scouts for militia. But Hera always likes to have vision, right? Okay, MbL, take the boar, dude. Does he not see the boar there? He doesn't have his wood or his farm upgrade yet. Obviously, he's not farming. He's got plenty of berries. Saving the meat for later, I guess. The spearmen that MbL added are now not able to get in. So, I guess they're just going to attack the same wall together. MbL just needs to make sure he actually gets some value against the scouts. Obviously, Hera wants to fight this, so he never has to deal with the spears. Yeah, that's a good fight from both players. Hera doesn't want to lose a single scout. He won't lose a single scout. He will lose a scout. Very fortunate not to lose a scout, and okay. Cheap villagers for the Hindustanis, even cheaper now, of course. And MbL will drop 2 TCs instantly, I think, and we have ourselves a boom game. Why is MbL not going range blacksmith? It's an approach. He's deciding to go full boom. I think a TC here would be epic if he could fit it. Maybe here. It doesn't fit. He's going to try. Boom. Okay. Boar, move out the way. There's no way he doesn't see that boar now. And whoa! Boom, boom, boom. And he bought extra stone so he can do a little waka waka boom. Insta 4 TC boom for MbL. I actually like this. Because Hera has shown that he doesn't really care. He's just going to, like, boom. Hera has no interest in, like, taking any massive risks. MbL also had scouted quite a bit of Hera's base and didn't see Hera had any villagers on stone. Which means Hera's not going to go for, like, an early castle or anything. We'll see how greedy MbL is able to be with this. I think I would personally want to squeak in that extra farm upgrade, but I don't think he can actually afford that. And there he is adding a monastery so he can get relics. Would love to kill any scouts out there, and that's why Hera adding the scouts was such a nice thing, right? Which civ would you prefer as the game progresses? Well, I would prefer the Hindustanis because they're more mobile. And that mobility is important for me. But I think MbL is really good when the game's not mobile. Not that he can't play in mobile situations. But my point is like, Britons are so good at a snowball right up the middle. And that could be really strong on this map. So I think both civilizations have their strengths. The thing that's so weird about this version of Yucatan is that there's, like, no extra golds, really. There's that extra gold. Where's the... Oh, and there's that one. But that's it. So you get 4... Yeah, like, look, you get 7 tiles, which is your main. And then you get 4. That's it. And then there's neutrals. Normally, it's 7 tiles, 4 tiles, 4 tiles, neutrals. So there is 8 times 800. There's 6,400 gold less than usual here. Okay. MbL would love a conversion there. It's probably not going to happen. He did get a relic there. There's no hills on this map? No, there's hills. Not massive hills, but there are hills as Hera goes for light cav even. Hera's taking his time. He might even add a 4th town center himself. If he does, I'd love to see it here, because that's just the perfect spot. Aha! Thank you, Hera. It felt natural that he would drop the 4 TC with the way he set up his economy. So Britons have the cheaper TCs and get to them a little faster. Hindustanis have the cheaper villagers, which makes life easier. But I think Hera's in a great position to be able to at the very least snipe the monk here. Whoop! Uh-oh. Wrong way there, Light Cav. Wrong way. Where are you going? Where are you going? Okay, the monk's dead. If Hera wants to be really smart about it... Oh, wow. It kills the spearman. He could actually heal up some of those Light Cav. Okay. Yeah, so I guess that makes the relics more important, right? If there's not extra golds. Never want to use a spearman against the monk, by the way. Because it's such an easy conversion for the monk. And it takes so many pokes from the spearman to get a kill. So it's almost always a mistake. But I'm sure MbL... It's not like he has Cav, so he's not going to be too worried. But that spearman's going to do too much damage to him. I think this is what MbL needs. He needs a castle. Like, right around here. He needs to choose whatever military force he's going to go with. Build that up with the trebs. Go for another castle here. And just, like, try and treb down everything and just push and finish this game fast. The question is, what's your army comp going to be? By the way, 7-0 KD for Hera. So certainly a start that he would want. But, of course, it's just, like, militia and a couple spearmen. No villagers, nothing of value. The militia are always destined to die. Will Hera go Gulam? So, guys, I actually think there's a chance. What does Hera do? Like, if I'm expecting Gulam, I go Champion. If I'm MbL. Champion's awkward to open with, though. So you might want to go, like, Archers into Champion. Yeah, that's probably the safe play, actually, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to go straight champ, and then Hera just goes full hand cannon, and then you have to switch back into archers. So go archers, which is your best unit, and you have crazy range. Make Hera respect it, and think of a counter to it, which would be the Gulam, which is the unique tech. Then you make your food eco spiking, because you've had villagers for a long time. Then you drop the barracks, and then you go champion. I think that's the approach. Also, a chance... Hera's going to drop the castle here, probably. Yeah, okay. What about Britain Champ Halp combo? No, because it's all really bad against hand cannoneers, right? I would say that's a no for me. Double infantry against a good hand cannon civ would probably be a big mistake. So, but that's something I always try and do. Is I always try, and you always want to open with your best unit. And even if they know you're going to do it, make them respect you, make them make the counter to it, and then you can transition into that other thing that's been on your mind to deal with it. And I honestly wouldn't put it past MbL to just not do that and just go straight champion here, but we'll see how Hera opens. Okay, I'm going to tell you something that's huge for Hera right now that he needs to pay attention to. He needs to see if this castle has fletching. If this castle doesn't have fletching, he knows his opponent's going champion. Also, Hera's adding a petard to try and get into one of these walls. Supplies! MbL's going to go champion. Alright, so he's expecting Gulam to be an issue. Oh, Hera's going to destroy him. Because he'll have chemistry. He's expecting champion because he didn't see fletching. Or I don't know, maybe he's just assuming MbL is just going to go champs. I assume one petard takes out a palisade wall. You never see petards for palisade walls. I don't even know if it'd be needed. You could just use the light cav, and then if a villager comes to build something, convert the villager. Did Hera scout the extra golden stone there? Oh, he did. That's huge. Huge, huge, huge. This castle also got denied temporarily. Light cav are in. Hera's going to get some nice raids in. This is just going to keep MbL on his base even longer. And MbL has no army to show except for the man-at-arms. Oh, man. It's such a slow opening. And now Hera sees it. So there will be no surprise. But MbL's going to go longbows as well. So as long as it's a combination, it could be really good. Alright. Monk converts a farmer. He's like, can I farm here still? Or is that not mine anymore? Light Cav's still getting kills. Hera's very happy with this now, I'm sure. Again, buying time. Getting to see what his opponent's up to. He's also got Gulobs waiting to pounce on any longbows. Light Cav's still running around. He killed another villager. And another one bites the dust. Bonk. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't die. MbL's so far behind in upgrades. Still, I mean, he's going to have to click two-handed swordsman here soon. Hera clicks chemistry instantly and is also dropping the archery ranges. Now, MbL will know. He will be able to see those ranges. So that he'll have an idea that that means hand cannons. And so he's going to feel better about the fact he's making longbows now. I think champion longbow is actually better than anything anything that Hindustanis can make. But I just don't know how realistic it is to produce out of your castles with longbows because it just takes so long. Love this TC from MbL though. Wow, Hera opens with Trebs instantly. MbL's getting two-handed swordsman. Still doesn't even have Bodkin arrow. Definitely feels like a spot for a second blacksmith. Get more upgrades. He actually does have two blacksmiths. He's just not using them. And Gulams aren't elite yet. But also, love to see Hera sell off some of that food because there's not that much gold on the map. So you can get more gold for the long term before the prices change. Oh, that's nice awareness from Hera, but he won't be able to deny the TC. MbL needs to prioritize chemistry, ballistics. So he has ballistics now. Yeah, he needs to be prioritizing a few more longbow upgrades because he thinks it's Gulams, but it's really the hand cannons he's going to have to deal with. Hera's being as patient as possible. He's not showing his Trebs just yet, but this is such a big invitation, and now MbL is going for Warwolf. Warwolf trebuchets could be massive here in defense for MbL. It's so hard to push the Britons. Hera tries. I actually might just take out the barracks. If MbL remembers there's a hole here, though, he'll be fine. He definitely is going to see this. But last time there was a hole on that side, and I don't think he noticed. Okay, there he goes. MbL does such a good job of ignoring the unimportant things. Like, he knows where he needs to be. He's even going to stonewall the side here. There is a gap there, but still, he's on gold for now. Supplies now from Hera. Weird. Not sure why he would get that. Might have misclicked it trying to get squires or something, but I don't know. Even Yeoman now. Hera's at 158 vills. That is possibly too many. He's going to need more army. 152 vills. It's very easy to do. Oh, he deleted a bunch of them just as I said that. Yeah, a bunch of villagers just caught the plague and died. Okay. So now he's going to have a lot more army. Still no champion for MbL. Still no elite longbow for MbL. Bye-bye bombard cannon for Hera. Or not, actually. Not that many longbows yet, but Warwolf Trevs, man. Hera, back away. Hera, don't do it to yourself. Back away, bro. Back away. Oh, the nice blocking from MbL, the trebuchets. Oh, I thought more would go down there, actually. If Hera can take out the Trebs, it might be worth it. If he can take out the castle, it might be worth it. And he is. He's also going to lose bombard cannons, which is going to be painful for him, I'm sure. The Warwolf Trebs are still firing, or could still be firing on the Trebs from Hera, but they're just kind of out of the... They're not in the position they need to. And the Gulams get one of them. Get both of them. Hera's got tons more army now. It's so much easier to produce Gulams and hand cannons. And Hera also just had all the techs in when he needed it. He's got full upgrades. MbL still missing so many upgrades like champion and longbow. And Hera wins 2 straight. Yeah, actually, so the overboom from Hera is actually at times calculated because you want to have a bank of res so you can get up to 60, 70 army at the crucial time. He's also getting Chaitagni here, which gives him the +2 range on top of the hand cannons, but he didn't even need it. So I think the way MbL needed to play this game, and I'm still not sure if it works just because of how long it takes, because longbows take so long to produce. I think the way he needs to play this game is he needs to go Arbalest or longbow first. He needs to force Hera into like heavy Gulam commitment and then switch into the swordsman. To show the swordsman first, like it's so much more expensive to go for the swordsman, and then I don't know, the order in which he went for it, I didn't like that much. But you could argue, like, he needs time to get the castles up, so that's why he delayed the longbow production. Hera had full scouting control. Hera had the relics. Hera had this gold. He probably would have raided this gold pretty soon. Hera played it super well. The reason we don't see longbows competitively is just because of how long they take to produce compared to arbalest, though. So maybe longbow was the mistake there for MbL if there was one. All right, so let's see how much they commit towards the walls here, guys. There's 2 hills on either side of this choke point. We've got Black Forest, 9 villagers start, as is the norm in this Warlords event. We've got MbL in the yellow. He is sending 3 villagers forward and getting loom. And we've got Hera in the blue. And Hera is sending 1 villager with no loom. Very big difference here. And Hera's like, crap, I should have sent more vills. And now he's going to place a couple house foundations. So the thing about MbL is he's an experienced Black Forest player. He's played thousands of hours on Black Forest. And I'm sure Hera's no stranger to the map. I'm sure he's played it before. Oh my god, there's a hole there too. Whoa. Yeah, I'm sure he's no stranger to the map, but MbL's certainly in his wheelhouse, you could say, here on this map. And we are going to see the walls go up here from both of them. So there's actually an opening here, and there's an opening here as well. Now, I had predicted that we would see Turks from MbL. Turks are a great 1v1 civilization on Black Forest. If you just go with a castle drop into Janissaries, which is their unique unit, and then like a fast Imperial. I think Hera should be worried about something like that. So I could see Hera with a rather wide choke point, wanting to be aggressive and wanting to go for like feudal age pressure against this. But again, 9 villagers start, right? So things are a lot faster. And also on this version of Black Forest, there is no water. And there's 3 relics on either side, which I think is really smart. I think the devs should take that aspect and apply it to the actual ranked version of the map. Because it makes it more balanced, but maybe people don't care about balance. Clearly, the ranked version of Black Forest that we've been enjoying and watching the last couple weeks is very much not balanced in a lot of different ways. So maybe the devs don't care about it either. But yeah, you know, in terms of heading towards Imp, like Bohemians would probably be really good because they can research chemistry in Castle Age, so they can have chemistry, you know, ready and waiting when they make it to Imp. I could see monks and cannons being good from Bohemians, whereas the Turks is probably just like gunpowder and cannons. Yeah, MbL would love to go fast castle here, so he's even making extra layers of walls. Looks like Hera will go fast castle as well, though, to be honest with you. He would have probably dropped off some food already to go up if he was going fast castle. Why is Facebook stream garbage? Question mark. Is it always this janky? Dude, can I'd love to like hear what the issue is so I could try and help. I'd suggest low latency mode. I could suggest going off of full screen and going to windowed mode, see if that works. I know a lot of people, like earlier there's someone who vented, and I get it, you need to vent. I appreciate you guys being here, and I want to try and help. I feel helpless when it's just like a vent, you know? But I do have an area in the Discord, too, where you can say whatever issue you're having, and I can get information to you. The latency helped. Thank you. All right, there you go. You're welcome. Nice to have you. So, Hera's up, but he's going to go fast castle still, so don't freak out too much. The cheaper blacksmith means that you don't actually need to have 8 on wood, so I'm surprised he's doing that. But it's all right. He just needs to pay $201 for me, and I'll train him offline for an hour, and I'll teach him the blacksmith build order. Oh, actually, he's making some farms. All right, so he's figured it out. I think I saw a 22 pop FC once with Bohemians. But that incorporated selling the stone, which Hera may or may not want to do. Obviously, these villagers are going to have to drop off some food. These villagers are going to finish on food. It feels like Hera might sell stone off this. But if he does that, what is his plan to try and stop MbL? And also, what is MbL's plan? Because MbL has not actually gone to stone, which is what you would expect, right? Okay. MbL's uptime is definitely not. I mean, based on normal build orders, obviously it's a 9-villager start. This is definitely not a build. Oh my god. Oh, the scout's such an important aspect here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. If Hera kills that scout, MbL's gonna be so paranoid. Wow, what a great play. I'm actually really disappointed that MbL didn't try and hunt that down, but he might not have remembered how much HP was there. See, now Hera can just attack that house and be a pain. I actually think Hera can do this without selling the stone. Ends up being pretty clean. And the amount on wood might be because he wants to boom or do, you know, drop some, why can't I think of words? Siege, monks, maybe. Now Hera gets to see everything MbL's up to. And since it's explored, he can just look at the stones and see what MbL's doing. This is really good for Hera. And we're going to see market and then blacksmith for MbL. He's got a lot of wood here. I guess Hera just booms then. I personally would like to see Hera go for siege, but kind of bait MbL into a lot of defense of it. Because MbL's in the dark right now, so MbL doesn't know exactly what Hera's going to do. He must fear some type of pressure. And he knows that Hera knows that he's not going for a castle. And you would never want a siege push against a castle. That there's going to be no castle. A little bit of siege wouldn't hurt. And if you end up, if you don't end up breaking in or anything, that's completely fine in my opinion. Well, the scout from Hera ran in at the very start. And then they both kind of fought. And then Hera's scout was lower HP and ran this way. And then MbL, I guess, just didn't check the HP because he just kind of... It was weird. He moved out. I don't know. I think he forgot about it, honestly. It's very odd how MbL didn't think that that scout would be out there. Because even if he knew the HP was close, when you're in Dark Age, you don't want to be out there. Anyways, there's the farms for MbL. Hera's just going to go insta-boom, I think. Going to see a TC. God, this TC would be so risky if there was a castle drop here. But it's not an issue for him. Big old eco-boom for Hera. I don't know, man. Like, I don't get what you get out of the game if you don't try a castle push with Turks. That's the way I see it. I'm no Black Forest expert. I would even be okay with a castle push even if Hera knew it was coming. Because what do you do about it? You can't boom on TCs, that's for sure. You might need to triple layer stonewall. You might need to do a lot of different things, right? So, just the way I see it, as Hera squeaks out his food upgrade, his farm upgrade too. Yep, he's got a really clean boom. Maybe you can teach me to boom off an FC here. This is really good. He'll have some idle TC time, but he's just a couple farms away from never having any. And he's got some really good upgrades, and he's going to see that MbL is later to the town centers. But now MbL is going to siege push. I like this. Hera also should scout this, right? But I think he's just going to confirm to see if where the town centers are first. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. So, as MbL gets his wood upgrade now, which is definitely a misplay. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, Bohemians getting a boom lead is essential for them. Because in order to win the Bombard Cannon War, they have to actually research chemistry. And Turks get that instantly in the Imperial Age. So that extra economy is really going to help Hera later on. Alright. Here we go. How many farms does Hera have right now? He's got 19. You need 6 per TC, if you're wondering. Before wheelbarrow, I think. 6 per TC to keep your TCs running all the time. Now the siege is coming out. Now the weak scout shouldn't be able to... Okay, this is what I want to see Hera do. I want to see Hera send the scout home and go heal it up. Come on. Just one run right past this. Here comes the siege. The villager will kill the... Ah! See, the villager will end up killing the scout. So that was never a concern for MbL there. And okay, now MbL sees the TC. And he's going to attack the TC. And he's going to attack the villagers. And Hera doesn't have loom. And Hera doesn't lose a villager. Nice save. Hera's going to go for monks. Hera's not going for his own siege. MbL is going to add more siege. And this is great pressure from MbL. A lot of players stonewall the middle for a reason. And so MbL's the master at Mangonel Micro, but Hera's going to try and take that out of the equation here, I think. And he's going to try and just get redemption here real early so he can just convert any siege. Also makes sense at the Bohemians to get Sanctity, because Sanctity and Fervor also applies to your villagers. So he's like, thanks, MbL. Now my villagers will be stronger. And it's kind of funny, too, because he's not even getting loom. I think the second that Redemption is in, MbL's push is completely dead. Barracks for Hera, though, just in case. I think he's concerned that MbL could add Light Cav. And that's just because he can't see any of this anymore. And MbL might actually add Light Cav because he's building a barracks. So they're like all thinking about what's possible at the same time. Despite not seeing some of it. Okay, there's Redemption now. So the villagers actually go up to 40 HP after Sanctity, and now Loom's coming in. So unless the Mangonel's on the hill, the monks will be able to get hit in the face one time by the Mangonels, which is normally enough time to get a conversion. What we could see Hera do is hop into the TC and then hop out to get the conversion. MbL did that to Hera once with four monks. It was sick. Redemption puts an end to this. And now MbL doesn't know what to do. And realistically, he should delete them. Oh, man, that's so bad. Especially, oh, God. Hera, just let the spearman do it. Oh, geez. Now your opponent has siege. Just let the spearman kill it, right? There's no reason not to. And just don't let him kill yours, and then you can use this against him. Oh, no, Hera misclicked. MbL. Spearman, man. All right, well, that's the end of the push. Just super, super clean, easy-looking game from Hera. Right? Hasn't really looked worried at all. It's so weird, man. Like, MbL went from game one, which was just so beastly on Arabia. And then he just hasn't looked quite as prepared for all these other maps. To be honest with you, though, like, Hera has really sharpened up after the first game as well. Obviously, we know MbL's best map is probably Arabia. So he got his win there. Another TC for both players. Right around the same time, too. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, we've got Fervor. Fervor on the way. If I'm Hera, that castle that he wants to build goes right here on this hill. You hope to break through here, and when you do, boom, castle drop him with the fast imp. That's a great uptime from Hera. Actually, he doesn't have his buildings yet. Okay, that slows him down a little bit. Forgot his building. Why Loom is the worst upgrade in the game. That's such bad advice, dude. I never actually watched that video. I assumed it was satire, but like, I don't know how certain things were framed in that video. Anyone who'd say Loom is the worst upgrade in the game has never watched low elo. I've seen so many villagers go down the boars, man. All right, well, what you want to do is you want to squeeze in chemistry here. And then doing so is just as good as the Turks getting free chemistry. MbL's behind in villager count because his boom has been worse. And Hera's had the cleaner economy. Both the idle TC time, but also everything else, right? It's just not been MbL's game. And Bohemians have the better boom. Slightly. I mean, they don't have crazy boom bonuses. But would have really liked to see that aggression from MbL. Never went for the castle drop here. And now Hera sees the cat. Actually, he won't see the castle. Forgive me. But he's going to have a target, right? And that target's obviously going to be that bad boy right there. Artillery is a really important upgrade. Not sure if MbL will be able to afford it, but he's sending a lot to stone, and I think it costs stone and wood? Or it's stone and gold. I actually forget, but I know it costs stone, which is kind of awkward. And then MbL will be able to make bombard cannons in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Hera will be able to make them in 35 seconds. And he can get monk upgrades to convert enemy bombard cannons as well. Bohemians are a sick civilization once they get rolling. They removed the stone cost a while ago. Did they? There were rumors in the special chat room that I got access to that they were going to do that. Well, can someone tell me what it costs then? Because I didn't think they changed that yet. Outposting, just in case Hera wants to onager cut. And Hera goes for the Hofnitze. A big 2.5 minute upgrade. But that's one way to get a big advantage in the cannon war. Would love to see a second monastery from Hera. Maybe a second barracks. Oh, he's got 2 barracks. He's fine, dude. If Hussars come in, he's going to be fine. He'll have help. There's artillery, though. I should have looked at his resource dip. 450 wood and 500 gold. Okay. It's actually a buff to make that not cost stone. Because then Turks have more stone for other things, and Turks are always going to do a really good job with stone. I feel like artillery could make a difference, right? Because it's range versus strength of the cannons, essentially. And artillery means that the bombard cannons can outrange the monks. We have ranges now for Hera, who's thinking about hand cannons. See what MbL can do. 3 relics for Hera. MbL, for some reason, doesn't have a third. Oh, he just got it. Okay, never mind. That explains it. And the monks convert a Vil. And that lady's not happy to be on this side of things. And it's all about micro now. Wonder if Hera spotted those cav archers. MbL's still trying to wall this. Bombard Tower, the MbL special. It'd be really good if someone's trying to run in underneath your castles and buildings if you have Bombard Towers as well. Okay. Gotta be careful with your monks here for Hera. Because they might not notice the shot. Obviously, MbL's gotta be super careful as well. Wagenburg tactics from Hera. So that adds more speed to all the gunpowder units. And he's actually going skirms. He's probably going skirms because he's thinking that cav archers might come out. So it's the perfect call from him yet again. Love that bombard tower there on the hill there from MbL. Just one is so good, I think. Also, it looks like he's trying to hide how many cannons he has right now. Like, he's trying to bait Hera into going in for the push. And then he's going to pop out and have a number of cannons that Hera can't deal with. Oh! Monks trying to come in. The bombard tower, though, has the same range as the monks. All right, MbL, none of this surprise shenanigans, dude. I think you just need to just move out and use your cannons. Use them before you lose them. Hera had such a big advantage in this game. But can he break MbL? Can he break the Turks? Dang. This has been great micro from both players so far. everything's looking great until it doesn't in these scenarios. Like this is going to be... You just wait a moment, and things are going to be wild. And we're going to see this swing, and cannons are going to go down. Or villagers are going to go down. Or cav archers. God, that's so many cannons. This is so satisfying. Which cannon is better? Still, MbL's only showing 4. Surely he would notice. Like, maybe he feels like he only needs 4 to be able to one-shot these things, and he doesn't want there to be overkill from Hera, where Hera gets a good shot and kills as many as MbL's about to, and that might be why MbL's saving his cannons in there. It's actually pretty smart. And hey, if I were those cannons, I would want to stay in there too. So now the monks as well could be in harm's way. Look at these bombard towers, guys. +5 range now, by the way. So it's 8 + 5 range, and MbL is slowly creeping forward. Hera's got to be thinking, dude, are you kidding me? Now, I think Hera could onager cut, but MbL's not going to allow it. MbL's pre-making bombard towers. What? Just MbL things, man. Just MbL things. He definitely feels comfortable on Black Forest with the Turks, with the bombard towers. I've seen MbL go for bombard towers in 1v1s more than any other player. In fact, I can't think of a single other player I've seen do it more than once. I can think of epic tournament sets where MbL has done it in 1v1s. He loves the bombard tower. I've got ranked games against Hera, some of them, where he's gone for them. Those skirmishers are living a dangerous life. Oh my god! This is epic! Oh, the cav archers really do nothing, by the way. They're just a distraction. I think MbL's just miscontrolling them. He's trying to get upgrades. Hera's gone for trebs now, but how long can that last? I can't wait till Hera tries to cut over here and sees those bombard towers. He's not going to believe it. No one else in the world plays this way, guys. No one else will commit this way. Like, if it was Hera as Turks, he'd be trying to go Hussar, Cav Archer, Bombard Cannon. He would never think about sinking stone and gold into the towers, but... Man, is it strong. Okay. Also, the micro's been so good from both of them. I think Hera kind of gave up on the Hoofnitsa for a bit there. You stopped producing. I'm so excited for Hera's point of view when the onager goes in. It's going to be like the Legend of Wall, you know? Oh my god. Say goodbye to that Treb. See ya. Oh my word. This makes me so happy right now. This makes me so happy. Hera has so many cannons and they're so strong and he still can't take out these towers in one volley. MbL will probably just make more. Oh man, imagine having to focus on so many different things. MbL's got 14 cannons. And he's got 12 towers. And now the trebs from Hera are being pushed back and MbL is gonna do this. What? And now Hera's desperate. He's like, I'm sick of this. I gotta go somewhere else. I gotta go somewhere else because I just can't deal with this guy. I can't play this way. I've got to go this way. It's the easiest way for me to cut through. My resources are good. I can run in. He's not going to expect it. Deletes a couple houses now. And here he goes. He's like, I'm going to change the course of this whole game. The casters are probably getting so hyped right now because I'm going to cut through. Hera, you're really ruining the hype moment. I'm going to cut. Hera. Don't kill your... Oh my god. Okay, thank god he noticed. I'm going to cut through and I'm going to change everything. Here I go. Now, as he thinks about it, we'll see if he gets there. MbL starts to push in, and now MbL has to be respected. Oh! Lots of cannons died. Also, has MbL lost a bombard cannon? We'd have to go back in the videos. Has he lost a bombard cannon yet? I don't think he has. And now Hera sees these towers. Well, he hasn't noticed yet. I think he's going to look for his onagers in a second and wonder where they went. Oh my god, this is a masterpiece. This is exactly how you should play Black Forest Turks. Maybe not the early game stuff, but certainly the late game. And Hera probably can't believe it. Hera had what many might have considered the perfect game to get to this point. He had such a good lead. He had the vision on what his opponent was doing, so there was going to be zero surprises there. And so many positives for him. But now he's losing so much ground. And what you really need to do is you need to treb down those things. And MbL even walled behind it just in case. And now the Hoofnitze are exposed. MbL will use his Cav Archers there. He goes for a big game-finishing shot with the cannons. As he's one-shotting the town centers now, too. My goodness, dude. I'm so hyped. The silly thing is, and this is like maybe, you know, me being too realistic with the series. For those that aren't going to see the rest of the series, we'll put it in the description and all that. But I think MbL is going to be at a big disadvantage in the next game in this best of 5. That was, oh my god! That was an epic recovery from Hera. But still, like, what a ridiculous game this is. Now, gold is going to become an issue for these guys, especially MbL, because he spends so much of his gold on the towers and the cannons and the Cav Archers. However, if he can apply the finishing blow, obviously he's going to be in a great spot, right? But Hera's not ready to give up yet. He is making more cannons. And if he can get a shot like he just did, I think he killed 4 or 5 cannons in that volley. Anything can happen. And there's also a lot of weak cannons there, too. So MbL maybe should repair those. Like that. Boom. Another cannon. Boom. Another cannon. Hera's not finished. Hera's not finished. The trash units are throwaways for him. He can make more of these things anytime. And he knows it, too. He's like, are they weak? Are they weak? Can I kill them? Can I get a big shot right here? Hera gets hit hard. He fires, though, and oh my goodness, these little dudes pushing these cannons are living the most horrible, terrifying little life. The claustrophobia must be real. And Hera is pushing it back. MbL doesn't have the cannons anymore. MbL's losing his towers. What are we witnessing here? Yo, this is amazing. And like MbL, he really was counting on winning the game right there, right? That death ball was going to be his ticket for victory. But now he's adding the stables. Now he's thinking about Hussars. And he actually is so late to the tech switch that by the time he ends up getting out... Nice militia, by the way. Nice militia, by the way. But by the time Hera ends up getting the MbL gets the Hussars, sorry, and everything, it might be too late because he might have lost all this ground. Now, of course, it could always swing right back, right? Like, Hera's got to be super vigilant. MbL has been massing, and he's been waiting. He knew he was going to lose some ground there after losing those cannons. Oh, man. Well, the trebs have been key here, guys. The trebs have been key. Apparently, it doesn't tell you if they take out buildings anymore. So I was going to give you a stat. But they took out the majority of that line of towers there. Now, they are going to be forgotten pretty quickly. And we're going to have some deja vu. Because ripperoni to those trebs. And the Halbs can't really run up the hill either. What a game. What an epic game this is. One of the games of the month. This is why I'm such a big fan of seeing Black Forest at a high level. You get to see so many different unique situations. The militia with the assist. Oh my god. All right. Hera's like, I didn't get to drush this game. I just felt like a different person without making militia. He actually made a lot of militia by mistake. That could be an issue if he continues to do that, because he did spend gold on those things. They do march in with confidence, though. I have to say that. But well played to them. Oh, so close to getting a Vil kill. It's probably a hotkey issue, right? Like, he's trying to spam units constantly and micro, so probably just a misclick. But Hera's up to over 10 Hoofnitze. MbL is back to 7 cannons. Certainly having, like, throwaway units in front has done Hera a lot of good. And he's going to kill some of his own Halbs there, but he has the throwaway units for a reason. Man. MbL going for the trebs. He's going to get the treb. He's going to back away, but Hera can get a big shot, maybe. He does get the big shot. It's the splash damage from these cannons, guys. It's insane. It's obviously insane on both sides, but again, the big difference is that the Hoofnitze, they've got more... actually, they have less HP. Today I learned. Okay, so they have slightly less HP, but they do more damage. And they also don't have the range of the Turks. Now, Hera has to make sure that he makes Halbs, and he does not make too many more skirmishers, because the Hussar is the worry now. And MbL finally has full armor on the Hussar, which is always the most important thing. He's adding more farms. And honestly, I think what might be nice from MbL is just run by this. Like, if you can see an opening, just send a wave of Hussars directly into Hera's economy. Sure, Hera has castles back there, and you probably will lose your Hussars. But it just gives you time, and it forces Hera to respect it constantly. Yeah. Oh! Nice attack around there from Hera. That can always happen, too. Well, you're going to damage your own Treb here, Hera. Whoa! That was sick, actually. He chose the perfect position so he wouldn't do any damage to his siege. MbL definitely didn't expect it to go that way. And that was important for MbL, too, because he's losing more Bombard Towers. He's going to be down to 6 Bombard Towers in a second. All right. That's the number. Hera doesn't want to make more right now. I think it's definitely worth repairing them. And I think using split formation is smart, too. I don't think this clumped up situation is going to do any good for you. Okay. Dodgeball Age of Empires 2 edition, guys. There's actually as I say that, there's actually a really fun mode called Dodgeball. You could check it out in the mod center. You pretty much just use cannons v cannons. It doesn't look as cool as this because it's on like a football field basically, but Hera's been methodical. I think like his initial push, he had so much confidence, and now he's trying to be a lot more. He's trying to chip away at this. Gotta be careful though. MbL kills one. See if Hera gets any attack rounds in there in that area. No, but the castle's gonna go down for MbL, and MbL is losing pop. MbL's losing ground. Hera loses another cannon though. He could lose another one here to these Hussars. He could lose another one here as well to the Bombard Cannon. Hera's down to 6 cannons. MbL has 3 cannons. Hera doesn't really have any fortifications here, but he has the wall of dudes. The wall of army. Dude, this would be such a big win for Hera. I mean, it's just group stage, by the way, so whoever loses this is not really that big a deal. But in terms of, like what you think about Hera as a player is not a player that you'd expect to do well in Black Forest, so I think he'd be really happy with a victory like this, especially against MbL. I should have maybe shut up a little bit because he's falling apart now, actually. But his falling apart is still winning. I only say falling apart because the main fact is that he lost his cannons, but he's still got so many halbs, and he says, I don't care if I lose halbs. Loses another cannon there, but then the halbs are on top of the cannons, and MbL's Cav Archer number's low. MbL needs more support here. He desperately needs to kill one more cannon before he loses this one. Oh! Nope. Hera's still making progress. MbL might die to this soon. He's got 72 farms. He does have the stables. But Hera has the halbs. And while the Cav Archers are strong, and while they have HP, they still have to run away. What a game. What a struggle. The relics are right there, by the way. That's 3 relics. And MbL cannot lose those relics. But I think you could also argue he might have already lost the game because he's lost every single tower. What an insane game of Age of Empires 2. More militia. Victory militia. Woo! More militia on the way. The last tower remains for Hera. The good thing for MbL is, like, he can't look at this game and say he really played bad except for the early game. I think he threw everything he could at this. That one big shot from Hera where he killed 5 or 6 cannons is really the momentum switcher. Halbs still do bonus damage against all this stuff, right? And Turks can struggle against mass trash like this. Turks can't go for halbs. Turks can't go for skirms. And guess what? Bohemians get extra bonus damage with their halbs as well. Their halbs feast. MbL knows now, I think, that this is probably over. He doesn't want to accept it. But this is pretty close to unsalvageable at this point. More buildings continuing to go down for him. The relics are now out, so he has no gold income. It's going to be really hard for him to ever get those relics back. And we might even see Hera wander forward with the monk. Yep, there's the monk. He's ready. He has 4 towers remaining, does he? Oh, yeah, that's true. He has these towers. Yeah. And 5 cannons is all you really need at this point, right? You just need the rest of the units to continue to reinforce, and MbL only has 11 cav archers. He only has 20 hussars. Let's see if the monk can actually get back home with the relic. Let's see. There he goes. Go, monk, go. You're a peaceful old man. You deserve it. Whoop. There he goes. Heading back home with some more gold for the god. MbL's pop is at 160 right now. And he would lose this series if he were to lose this game. So he obviously doesn't want to call it quits here. Also, he continues to think, like, Cav Archers counter Halb, Hussar counter Skirm. Nice dodge. That Archer Rage is really helpful, right? Because it, like, blocks off so much of that choke. I think MbL's composition was good, but I think it's just the cost of it all, right? That was an issue when you're also making Bombard Towers and you're also making Bombard Cannons. If it was a team game, I think eventually Hera would just wither away, because MbL would have the possibility for trade. But no possibility for trade, and only relying on relics at this stage is always going to be a big problem. We call MbL the cockroach of AoE for a reason. The guy never dies. It's hard to kill him off. Oh my god, these cannons are insane. These cannons are just insane. The Halbs are insane, and the cannons are insane. Just Halb Hoofnitz is almost impossible to stop with all civilizations, but mixing in a couple skirms for the Cav Archers too obviously helped Hera a lot. Feels like he's had a really good ratio as well. And he never really overmade one or the other. Boink, you're dead. Boink. Monk on the way back for more relics. Yep, there he goes. And MbL calls the GG. Hope you guys enjoyed that one because that was freaking epic. What a game, dude. Like, only MbL would play it this way. And, like, maybe only Hera could actually bring that one back. That was an incredible high-level Age of Empires 2 game on Black Forest. Now, we haven't had too many of those on my channel over the years. I remember one with MbL and Doubt. And that was Celts and Mongols. So, 2 of the old classics on Black Forest. This is 2 of the, well, Turks aren't new, but let's just say 2 of the new classics. The new classic matchup. And I think part of that statement's accurate because this is definitely the way the meta seems to be going these days. Players utilize Bombard Cannons more and more. And love this type of composition. One of the best games I've seen in a long time. You can't say it was the composition from MbL. I think you can just say it was the lack of numbers, right? 457 Halbs from Hera. That's not counting the skirms. This is his most created unit. And the most created unit from MbL was Hussars at 242. And then look at the KD. You know, you ever play up against Goths, and Goths just spam nonstop, and you kill them, and you kill them again, and then you kill them some more, and yet they still overrun you because they can just make so many units? Hera just basically spammed units more than MbL did on the back of some really good cannon micro, and he was able to outlast MbL. MbL had more gold in this game, actually, but Hera had more wood and food, and he spent it. And obviously, MbL did spend a lot of that gold on the towers, too, because those towers are not cheap. I actually forget how much a Bombard Tower is, and I should know this. I think it's 125 stone and 100 gold. And forgive me for being slightly off on that. You would think I'd know it after all these years, but it's just not something that's ever really seen in 1v1s, unless the Norwegian's playing. So yeah, this is going to hit YouTube because it was just absolutely awesome. So YouTube, I want to hear your thoughts on what you think is better, who you think is the best composition between these civilizations. I think that you could still make arguments that Turks is the better comp. I also want to hear if you've ever seen a game quite as crazy as this on recent Black Forest. The early games, they were all pretty good games. If you want to watch the first 3 games from this series, we're going to have the full series in the description, which is actually just going to be public on my other YouTube channel where I toss a lot of my other content up there. So, you know, just FYI out there, if you want to watch more content or whatever. This is from Warlords. Really cool event. This is just the group stage. MbL is still alive. I'm sure we'll see more of the guy. This event will be going on for the next week or 2, and I'll be uploading the later stages to the main YouTube channel for more awareness for the event. And as I always do with the final stages of big events.